Every morning when you open your eyes, you're given a brand new chance to start again, a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become more of the person you truly wish to be. But most of us wake up and rush straight into our day without ever pausing to connect with ourselves. We pick up our phones, we check messages, we start worrying about the next task, and somewhere in all that noise, we forget the most important part of our day, meeting ourselves. You see, the person you spend your entire life with is not your parents, your friends, or even your partner. It's you. And yet so many of us never really take time to understand who we are becoming. Self-awareness is the foundation of personality growth. It's like looking in a mirror, not to fix your face, but to understand your heart. Every morning before you step into the world, ask yourself simple but powerful questions. What am I feeling today? What kind of energy do I want to carry into this day? How do I want to treat others and myself? These little reflections set the tone for everything that follows. When you begin your day with awareness, you become intentional. You start responding to life, not reacting to it. You begin to choose your words, your actions, and your emotions consciously, instead of letting circumstances control them. You'll notice that the more you practice self-awareness, the more peace you bring into your life. Because awareness is like light. Once it shines, darkness loses its power. When you know your weaknesses, you no longer feel threatened by them. You work on them. When you recognize your strengths, you learn how to use them to uplift others. This quiet process of self-discovery transforms you, not overnight, but gradually, beautifully, and permanently. Some days you'll realize that you woke up with heaviness in your heart. Maybe yesterday's mistakes are still echoing in your mind, or someone's harsh words have left a mark. But instead of running from that feeling, sit with it. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Don't judge it, just observe it. Because awareness doesn't mean you must always be happy. It means you're brave enough to face what's real. It's in those quiet, honest moments with yourself that real growth begins. And as you practice this daily, you'll begin to notice small but powerful changes. You'll start catching yourself before reacting in anger. You'll begin to notice patterns in your behavior, what drains your energy, what brings you joy, what helps you stay calm. You'll become more authentic, more centered, more at peace with who you are. And that's when your personality starts to evolve naturally. You won't have to try to be impressive. Your calmness, your awareness, your grounded energy will speak louder than words. So tomorrow morning, before you scroll, before you rush, take 1 minute to meet yourself. Look within and remind yourself, today, I choose to be aware. I choose to grow. Because every day you connect with yourself, you're not just improving your personality, you're shaping the person the world will remember. Words are powerful. They can build bridges or burn them. They can heal someone's heart or break it beyond repair. And the most beautiful thing about your personality is not how well you dress or how confidently you walk. It's how gently you speak, especially when it's difficult to be gentle. Speaking with kindness is not a sign of weakness. It's a reflection of inner strength. Anyone can raise their voice, but it takes true power to stay calm when everything around you tries to pull you into chaos. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Sometimes a kind word becomes the only light they see that day. Imagine how powerful it is to have that kind of impact, just by choosing compassion over criticism. When you learn to speak with kindness, you don't just change how people see you, you change how they feel about themselves. And that is the kind of influence that lasts far longer than looks, status, or success ever could. But let's be honest, kindness isn't always easy. It's easy to smile when life is treating you well. It's easy to be patient when others agree with you. But what about when someone misunderstands you, disrespects you, or hurts you? That's when kindness becomes a choice, not a reaction. It's in those moments that your personality is truly tested. You can choose to mirror someone's negativity, or you can rise above it and reflect calmness instead. Remember, how others treat you is their story. How you respond is yours. You don't need to use big poetic words to be kind. Sometimes it's as simple as saying thank you, I understand, or even it's okay. These small expressions of warmth can soften hearts and open doors. Kindness also means knowing when not to speak, when silence says more than words ever could. It means listening with empathy, not to reply, but to understand. When people feel heard, they also feel respected. And That's the foundation of every genuine connection in life. Over time, you'll realize that kindness is not something you show to impress others. It becomes part of who you are. It changes the energy around you. It brings peace into your heart. It makes you someone people trust, someone they can turn to. And the more you practice it, the more naturally it flows from you, even in the most challenging moments. So the next time you're tempted to respond with anger or sarcasm, take a deep breath and ask yourself, will my words heal or hurt? Because every word you speak leaves a trace, and that trace becomes part of your character. Speaking with kindness is not just about making others feel good, it's about protecting your own peace, nurturing your own soul, and becoming a person who spreads light even in the darkest places. That's where true beauty of personality begins to shine. Every single day that you wake up is a chance to learn something new. But sadly, most people stop learning the moment they leave school or college. They start believing that education ends with a degree, when in reality, that's exactly where true learning begins. Life is the greatest teacher you will ever have, and every experience, every person, every mistake is a lesson waiting to be understood. The more you open yourself to learning, the more your personality grows, deepens, and evolves. Learning doesn't always mean sitting with a book or taking a course. It's about staying curious. It's about observing life closely, asking questions, and paying attention to what's happening around you. When you make learning a daily habit, you train your mind to look for wisdom instead of comfort. You start noticing patterns, why people behave a certain way, why things succeed or fail, why you feel the way you do in certain situations. That awareness turns knowledge into understanding, and understanding into growth. The most inspiring people in the world are not the ones who know everything, but the ones who are always eager to know more. They listen when others speak. They read not just to pass time, but to expand their vision. They are never embarrassed to admit they don't know something, because they see ignorance not as a flaw, but as an invitation to grow. Every single new thing you learn adds another layer to your personality. It gives you confidence, depth, and grace. It teaches you how to speak with wisdom rather than just emotion. Learning also makes you humble, because the more you know, the more you realize how little you actually know. And that humility makes you kind, patient, and understanding. When you keep your mind open, you stop judging others too quickly. You start appreciating different perspectives, respecting differences, and embracing change. You begin to understand that growth is not about being right, it's about becoming better. Some days life will teach you lessons the hard way. You'll fail at something you worked hard for, or someone will disappoint you deeply. But even those moments are teachers. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me, ask, what is this trying to teach me? That one shift in thinking can turn pain into purpose and loss into wisdom. The truth is, life never stops teaching. You just have to be willing to keep learning. So every day, make it a small habit to grow your mind. Read one page, listen to a thoughtful conversation, observe a new detail, or simply reflect on something you learned about yourself. Knowledge is not just power, it's transformation. And the more you learn, the more beautifully your personality blossoms. Because a mind that's open to learning can never be limited, and a person who keeps learning can never stop growing. Failure has a strange way of making us doubt our worth. When things don't go as planned, when doors close, or when people walk away, we begin to question ourselves. Am I not good enough? But what if failure isn't meant to break you, but to build you? What if every setback is just a silent invitation to discover your true strength? The truth is, no one in this world has ever succeeded without falling first. Failure is not a dead end, it's a detour that leads you toward growth, maturity, and wisdom. We live in a world that celebrates success loudly, but hides its failures quietly. We see the trophies, the smiles, the achievements, but rarely the tears, the sleepless nights, or the disappointments behind them. And because of that, we start believing that failure is something to be ashamed of. But it's not. Failure is proof that you tried, that you dared, that you cared enough to take a step forward. Those who never fail are simply those who never try. When you begin to see failure as a teacher, not a punishment, your whole perspective changes. You start to ask the right questions. What did this experience teach me? What could I do differently next time? You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as a student of life. Every failure carries within it a message, sometimes painful, sometimes subtle, but always valuable. It's in your lowest moments that your character is refined, your resilience is built, and your personality starts to take its true shape. There will be times when you fail and no one claps for you, when you feel like giving up, when you start believing that you're not meant for greatness. But I promise you, those are the moments that define who you are. If you can stand up after falling, if you can still believe after being doubted, if you can try again after losing everything, that's strength. That's the kind of peace no degree, no success, no title can ever give you. You see, a strong personality is not formed in moments of comfort. It's shaped in moments of challenge. It's when everything falls apart that you truly find out what's inside you. Failure humbles you, but it also grounds you. It teaches you empathy, patience, and perseverance. It strips away your pride and reveals your purpose. And when you rise after falling, you don't rise as the same person. You rise wiser, calmer, and stronger. So the next time you fail, don't run from it. Don't hide it. Embrace it. Sit with it. Learn from it, because one day you'll look back and realize that your failures were never roadblocks. They were stepping stones guiding you toward the person you were always meant to become. The people you surround yourself with play a far greater role in your life than you often realize. The company you keep shapes your thoughts, your mindset, and even your dreams. If you spend too much time around negativity, it slowly becomes your language. If you stay around people who constantly complain, criticize, or discourage, you begin to mirror that energy without even knowing it. But when you choose to be around those who inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of your worth, you start to grow in ways you never thought possible. The truth is, your environment has the power to either nourish your spirit or drain it completely. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean cutting everyone off or pretending life is perfect. It means creating space for people who add value to your journey. It means choosing those who encourage your dreams instead of mocking them, who tell you the truth even when it's hard to hear, and who push you to become a better version of yourself every single day. These are the people who celebrate your wins, but also stand by you in your darkest hours. They don't just make you laugh. They make you think, they make you reflect, and they make you believe again. Sometimes we hold on to people out of habit, not connection. We stay in circles that no longer inspire us simply because we fear being alone. But solitude is not your enemy. Stagnation is. Being alone with peace is far better than being surrounded by noise that kills your spirit. You cannot grow in an environment that constantly reminds you of your limits. So learn to protect your peace like it's your greatest treasure, because it truly is. Energy is contagious. When you spend time with people who radiate gratitude, hope, and strength, you begin to embody those same qualities. Their optimism becomes your mindset. Their resilience becomes your reminder that you too can overcome. And just as others influence you, remember that you also influence others. Your words, your energy, your presence, it all affects the people around you. That's why it's so important to carry light within you so you can share it without even trying. Your circle should reflect your vision. If you dream big, you can't be surrounded by small minds. If you want to grow, you can't stay where gossip and jealousy are louder than inspiration and effort. Choose wisely who you give your time and energy to, because not everyone deserves access to your peace. The right people will not compete with your light. They'll help you shine brighter. So take a moment to look around you, to evaluate who truly uplifts your spirit and who quietly drains it, because the environment you choose will shape the person you become. Surround yourself with those who remind you of your purpose, who fuel your fire, and who make you believe that even on your weakest days, you still have what it takes to rise. Every night before the world goes quiet and you finally close your eyes, there's a sacred moment that often goes unnoticed, a moment when you can meet yourself again. The entire day might have been full of noise, responsibilities, and emotions, but as the night settles in, you get the chance to pause and reflect. And that reflection is not just about replaying what went wrong. It's about understanding how you lived, how you reacted, how you grew. That simple act of reflection has the power to transform your personality more than any book or lecture ever could. Reflection is like holding up a mirror to your soul. It allows you to see your truth, the good, the bad, and the in-between. It's not about judgment or guilt. It's about awareness. Ask yourself gentle questions. Did I speak kindly today? Did I give my best? Did I let anger control me, or did I choose peace? These questions don't demand perfection. They invite progress. And when you answer them honestly, you begin to understand yourself in deeper, more meaningful ways. You start to notice small victories that often go unnoticed, the times you stayed calm when you could have shouted, the moments you smiled when you wanted to cry, the choices you made that no one saw but you. Those moments, though invisible to others, are the true markers of growth. Reflection also gives you clarity. Throughout the day, we often carry the weight of stress, misunderstandings, and unspoken emotions. But when you take a few minutes to look back, you begin to release that heaviness. You start to see patterns. What drains your energy, what fuels your peace, what habits help you grow, and what needs to change. This simple awareness becomes your compass for tomorrow. It's like giving your heart a quiet space to breathe, to let go, and to prepare for a new beginning. Some people think self-improvement happens only through big changes, new jobs, new goals, or new environments. But the truth is, transformation happens in these quiet, consistent moments of reflection. When you make it a habit to check in with yourself every night, you become more intentional with your life. You stop moving blindly through your days. You begin to live with purpose. You become more patient, more grateful, more grounded. And as you reflect, don't forget gratitude. No matter how your day went, there's always something to be thankful for. The breath in your lungs, the lessons you learned, the people who stood by you, or even the challenges that shaped your strength. Gratitude turns reflection into healing. It reminds you that even on the hardest days, you are still growing. So before you sleep tonight, take a quiet moment with yourself. Reflect, forgive, learn, and be grateful. Because each night that ends with awareness begins a new day with purpose, and that is how you become a little better, a little wiser, and a little kinder than you were yesterday.